Eating disorders 1. Outline. Introduction. Types of eating disorders. Anorexia nervosa. Bulimia nervosa. Eating disorder not otherwise specified. Introduction. Eating disorders have become increasingly prevalent in adolescents of all racial, ethnic, and socio-economic groups. More than 75% of eating disorder cases begin during adolescence. Anorexia nervosa is most likely to occur in early to mid-adolescence, and bulimia nervosa during or after late adolescence. Anorexia nervosa has been reported in approximately 1% and bulimia nervosa in up to 5% of adolescent females. Eating disorders are becoming more common in adolescent males, who account for 20 to 30% of diagnosed eating disorder cases in youth. The prevalence of subclinical eating disorders or disordered eating behaviors is higher than reported for anorexia and bulimia nervosa. Types of eating disorders. Eating disorders are complex psychiatric syndromes in which cognitive distortions related to food and body weight and disturbed eating patterns can lead to significant and potentially life-threatening medical and nutrition complications. The 3 types of eating disorders are anorexia nervosa, AN, bulimia nervosa, BN, eating disorder not otherwise specified, EDNOS. Anorexia nervosa. Anorexia nervosa is characterized by a denial of hunger and intentional restriction of energy and nutrient intake to a level inadequate to maintain health and normal weight. Example, 600 to 900 calories per day. Intensive exercise and or purging by means of self-induced vomiting, laxative abuse, diuretics, or enemas may also be used to promote weight loss. Extreme body dissatisfaction, a delusion of being fat, an obsession with being thinner, and an intense fear of gaining weight persist regardless of the amount of weight lost. Diagnostic criteria for anorexia nervosa. Refusal to maintain body weight at or above a minimally normal weight for age and height. Intense fear of gaining weight or becoming fat even though underweight. Disturbance in the way in which one's body weight or shape is experienced. Undue influence of body weight or shape on self-evaluation, or denial of the seriousness of the current low body weight. In postmenarcheal females, the absence of at least 3 consecutive menstrual cycles. Types of AN. Restricting type. During this episode of anorexia nervosa, the person has not regularly engaged in binge eating or purging behavior, that is, self-induced vomiting, or the misuse of laxatives, diuretics, or enemas. Binge eating or purging type. During this episode of anorexia nervosa, the person has regularly engaged in binge eating or purging behaviors, that is, self-induced vomiting, or the misuse of laxatives, diuretics, or enemas. Bulimia nervosa. Bulimia nervosa is associated with chaotic eating behaviors. Binge eating is followed by purging, fasting, and/or intensive exercise in an attempt to compensate for the excessive calories ingested. Diagnostic criteria for bulimia nervosa. Recurrent episodes of binge eating. Recurrent, inappropriate compensatory behavior in order to prevent weight gain, such as self-induced vomiting, misuse of laxatives, diuretics, enemas, or other medications, fasting, or excessive exercise. The binge eating and inappropriate compensatory behaviors both occur on average at least twice a week for 3 months. Self-evaluation is unduly influenced by body shape and weight. The disturbance does not occur exclusively during episodes of anorexia nervosa. Types of BN. Purging type. During this episode of BN, the person has regularly engaged in self-induced vomiting or the misuse of laxatives, diuretics, or enemas. Non-purging type. During this episode of BN, the person has used other inappropriate compensatory behaviors such as fasting or excessive exercise, but has not regularly engaged in self-induced vomiting or the misuse of laxatives, diuretics, or enemas. Eating disorder not otherwise specified. Eating disorders which do not meet all of the diagnostic criteria for anorexia nervosa or bulimia nervosa are classified as EDNOS. Examples include: for females, all of the criteria for anorexia nervosa are met, except the individual has regular menses. All of the criteria for anorexia nervosa are met, except that, despite significant weight loss, the individual's current weight is in the normal range. All of the criteria for bulimia nervosa are met, except that the binge eating and inappropriate compensatory mechanisms occur at a frequency of less than twice a week, or for a duration of less than 3 months. The regular use of inappropriate compensatory behavior by an individual of normal body weight after eating small amounts of food. Repeatedly chewing and spitting out, but not swallowing large amounts of food. Binge eating disorder. Recurrent episodes of binge eating in the absence of the regular use of inappropriate compensatory behaviors characteristic of bulimia nervosa.